Um, so I'm seeing. It's Friday the 5th of May, 2023. We're due a coronation tomorrow. And I know I'm going to sound shit when I'm doing this. Undoubtedly I'll get interrupted. Undoubtedly I'll feel embarrassed and I'll just take it down within about 5 seconds because I feel embarrassed by everything I say and do. But I wanted to just explain it. Why monarchy? Why monarchy? Well, cause I'm someone who is going to watch the monarchy, is going to watch the coronation, and I am gonna celebrate. I'm tempted to pledge allegiance. I will probably pledge whatever the pledge is. So why? What's the point of it? What's the point of it? Why do we do it? Tradition isn't just about the past. It's an agreement. It's a relationship between those who are living, those who are dead, and those who are yet to be born. It's not just about what we were. It's about doing the thing, reaffirming values on the basis that they will continue. Saying that they will continue. There will be continuance. Those yet to be born will be born. Those to come will come. And that's incredibly important. And even the most ardent sort of anti-monarchists, you're going nowhere without hope. Your idea of what it will be, what will be, what will become, what will happen, your hopes for the future, it's going nowhere without that the consideration, that the belief that there will be a future. Yeah. That there will be something to come, something to happen. So why is it important to me? Basically, I'm at a strange point. My existence is borderline meaningless. I don't know if I don't feel like I'm going anywhere. I've got no kids. I haven't had a partner for. I had a girlfriend for however long. Can't remember. And there's nothing like that's going to change. I'm at that point in life where I've got trust issues. My trust issues. I have trust issues. Got that many trust issues. I'm tempted to outsource my paranoia to someone else just to take care of business. But effectively, some people say this to my face, and actually, I've got quite a lot of respect for them saying it. I'm a leader. People don't like to say this because it's hard. And it's something you don't say to people. But the problem is, I'm one of those people. I can see the difference between what people are saying to my face and what the facts on the ground, what the facts in front of my face are saying. And when there's this discrepancy, I kind of go, well, no. So what? I'm at a point. I'm 35. I don't know. My reason for clinging on. There's no logic. Logic, to me, dictates that there's no real point in me keeping on trying, keeping on going. Why? For what? I've had a lot of false starts, failed miserably at a load of things. But, yeah. There's a poem by Kipling called If. There's a line in it. If you can make your heart and nerve and sinew serve you long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing left in you but the world which says to them, hold on. It's a really important line. There's no logic to continuing, but we continue. I think that maybe that there's something in that for Britain. We've got problems, endless problems, and some of those problems will never end. I don't see them ending. I see them as just some are just consequences of the human condition. We'll mitigate some and we'll reduce some, and maybe we can control the extent of some, but we won't stop a lot of the problems we've got. If you want things to improve, you need there to be a future. You need there to be a promise of a future. You need there to be this guarantee saying the values. Yeah, the values will continue. The values will continue. And, sorry, I'm just putting other sounds. You need there to be a future, and you need that promise of a future. The values that British values include, yes, they include the values. They include everything. They include the people who are wanting more, wanting the government to do more, wanting to actually pay for things, to stop cutting things, to actually rebuild public services, to rebuild the things that people rely on, and just to help people out where they need help out. Those are part of the values as well. Those are one aspect of British values. It is important for those people, the nation and the values in which those ideals, those hopes, those dreams of a better future continue. You need there to be that future for those ideals to come into being. And tradition is a reaffirmation that there will be that future, or a future where there is that potential, a future where that thing can happen, a future where some of your ideals can come to be. That's a bit of a rambling, weird. Effectively, we are at a position where we don't know what we are as a nation. We're a bit mushy. Some people value one side of us, some people value another side of us, some people want us to be sort of hard-nosed and a bit blunter with the rest of the world. Some of us want to be softer to the rest of the world. We need a future to resolve these things. We need there to be a future. And you're getting, well, I don't know if you're going to get an activist king, but you're getting a king who was an activist, and who we know in private has that aspect of him. Whichever version you want, whichever side of Britain you want, you need there to be a future. You need Britain to continue. Because if the nation stops, if we say no, we're not going to reaffirm our values, we're not going to reaffirm our nation, your ideals die too. Your hopes for the future die. All of ours do. All of them. Whatever hopes you've got that you want your kids to achieve, the nation you want them to inherit. Okay, if you don't like what it is, instead of bashing it continually, work for something better. But to achieve that something better, you need it to be a future. And the nation we are reaffirming is a nation in which those better hopes, those ideals for the future were conceived. We are a nation that's had a history of every form of politics, every form of intellectualism has had some strand in this country, has some version of itself as manifested in this country. So this idea that it's inherently un-British to be a particular way. No, we're a bit of a chaotic, messy, ramshackle little island. Our politics, our values have been that. I feel like that's sort of one good reason. To me, it's a good reason. You need the right reaffirmation of tradition. The tradition is a promise for the future as much as it is a reference to the past. So that's one argument. I think my next reason, this is again goes back to the whole being a loser thing. My vote has never meant anything. We're a democracy, but my vote has never changed a damn thing. I haven't really noticed much change, certainly. In terms of Parliament, I'm pretty sure I've lived in safe seats my entire life. I don't know what I was as a kid, but I've lived in safe seats the biggest chunk of my life. What's the point in voting if... I mean, around here at the local council elections, there was no courtship, there was no attempt. I got literature from Labour, and the people handing it out. I got reports that the people handing it out were slightly offended that someone asked them to justify. Yeah. This is someone who was a Labour voter, by the way. This is someone who was an ardent, quite lifelong Labour voter. Was asking them why should they vote Labour, and the activists, the people handing out the leaflets, couldn't say, and got a little bit offended at the question. Local council owns. Labour own the local council. They own this council seat, and that's been the case. Whichever house I've lived in, whatever street I've lived on, the council and the constituency have all been safe. So what's the point of me voting? And the one time I was in the majority was Brexit, and I was told, and very few people said it to my face, but the general trend of the conversation, the general gist of the conversation was, you're evil, you're wrong. Just because you're a majority doesn't mean that should happen. And it feels on a lot of, I don't know. I think largely I did it out of, ironically, I voted, I think I voted Leave largely to check if my vote worked, if my vote did anything. So yeah, my voting life has been meaningless. So why shouldn't I be a monarchist? If you don't have a choice anyway, why not enjoy the thing you didn't get a choice in? Why not enjoy the more traditional side of that? Instead of moaning about the less traditional, the more democratic version where we all get a choice. Or we all get to vote, but really we don't have much choice because most of us live in safe cities. A lot of people live in safe cities at least. And what's your vote going to do really? That's been my experience. And so I will celebrate. I will celebrate the monarchy because it's the ultimate kind of two fingers to democracy. The monarchy is more beloved than any prime minister could ever hope to be. And no one gets a choice in it. So that gives you an idea of how much choice is worth. I'm sort of rambling here. I'm not making much sense. I'm sort of getting it in my head. I'm struggling to get it out. But yeah, this idea that if your vote is meaningless, if the idea that we are a democracy doesn't really mean much to you because you've never seen it function, your vote has never really changed anything. Well, why shouldn't you be a monarchist? If you've got no choice, why not enjoy the thing that you didn't get a choice in? Why not support the biggest, most pomp and pageantry and pomp and circumstance version of your voicelessness? Maybe that's a bit of a weird argument. And I don't know. I'm making no sense here. Probably. But and I mean, also, there's some strong arguments. Here are some strong arguments against republicanism, and some of the strongest arguments. They've all got 3 words. They all amount to 3 words. So let's start with President Tony Blair, President David Cameron, President Theresa May, President Gordon Brown, President Liz Truss. Anybody want that mess? President Rishi Sunak, President Boris Johnson, President John Major, President Thatcher. I can only speak for myself. I'm pretty sure in that list of names there were at least 1 or 2 that made everyone had a point in that list of names where they winced. And they thought, oh, bollocks to that. You think of all the people we had as Prime Minister, would you really want them as our head of state? really. And that's what voting produces. That's what our democracy has produced. That's the list of people. Do you want them as president? I don't. I can't imagine wanting any of them as my head of state. It's one of the great advantages of having a monarchy that yeah, we can be disappointed in our leaders and celebrate our head of state. Yeah, we can be disappointed in our politicians, but then politicians are there to be disappointed. As part of their function is to be blamed for everything. Even if it's not strictly speaking their fault, but yeah, they bear a lot of responsibility, and they are there to be blamed. Yeah, we vote for people. Yeah, how many people? When they vote for people, this. I don't know if people do it consciously or not, but how many people vote knowing that they are voting for a scapegoat? They're voting for somebody who will be blamed for all the nation's woes. But again, I can't think of any of them who I would want as president. And given how given how few of them had a very, very strong support, and how many of them managed to rapidly lose the kind of strong support they had to begin with. It'd be a mess. It'd be a complete mess. And so, stick with what we've got. Let's stick with the monarchy as a head of state. Until you can come up with something better. Yeah, the options for president are not great. The options for our elected head of state are not great. The people who would get that position are not amazing people. They're not people that I think. They're not the kind of people I would want anywhere near that kind of position. So I'll stick with my unelected, inherited head of state, hereditary position, because I've yet to see somebody turn up who I would vote for as a president. I would want as a president. And people talk about money as well. People talk about the money. I know, everyone knows. Governments, plural, many of them, lots of them, have found extraordinary ways of pissing money up the wall. People know. Maybe I can't. Maybe I'm the only person who thinks like this, but I'm pretty sure that if you got rid of the monarchy tomorrow, that money would not even touch the sides. It would be gone within a week, and you're back to square one. But with something slightly less special in place, you've lost something somewhat important. You lost something that had a value. It was not a measurable value, but it was valuable. People valued it largely because it was immaterial, largely because it was sort of special. It had something that they couldn't quantify. And this really brings us full circle back to where I started. I'm clinging to hope. And the nation is clinging to hope that there's something in the future. Where's our evidence for that? Where's that hope, that promise? The one of the lines from the national anthem. On thee our hopes we fix. We have to believe, even if we don't really have much reason to believe. And people who are quite materialistic have this too. The people who are wanting rid of the monarchy are doing so for thinking this money will change things, make things better. They're thinking this will be the starting point of a better future. This will be the beginning of something important, or this will contribute to the improvement, the resuscitation of Britain's decaying systems. We think we're clinging to something. What's our reason for clinging to that? Where's our evidence that that's going to happen? We don't have that evidence. We have hope. And tradition is about hope. Tradition has importance not just for the past but for the future. The King Charles III's coronation was planned, has been in planning in the works for a long time. King William the Fifth, it will be William the Fifth when he takes the throne. King William the Fifth's coronation is being planned, probably. There are people who are going, right, what happens next? And George VII and his kids. And the fact that we're using numbers that haven't been used for our monarchs yet. Yet this idea that there is a plan for the future. Because we are planning to retain our traditions in the future. Because there will be a future. And maintaining tradition is about maintaining that hope for the future. As much as it is about looking to the past. And that brings us back to it. The things if we got rid of the monarchy, we'd get something that we can't quantify. It's really difficult to quantify, but it's like it's like getting a special coin. You can collect special commemorative coins. Those coins have value. Some of the coins, they'll be like a £5 coin for a particular event. And that will be worth £5. But everyone knows that commemorative £5 coin is worth more than £5. There's something to it other than the £5 value. And that principle scales. That principle scales to the monarchy. And to things that the nation has. That, yes, they are immaterial. They're not, we will always struggle to quantify them. But there'd be a definite absence, a definite loss if they were gone. I don't know if any of that makes any sense whatsoever. But those are some of my reasons for being a bit of a monarchist and being a bit of a royalist, and continuing to support our king. And it's not romanticism. Romanticism is not just ideal. Romanticism is an idealism combined with a kind of torment at your inability to live up to that idealism. That's what it amounts to. It's this absolute, I must live up to this delusion. It's the belief that the delusion is so powerful that the person will harm themselves or others in pursuit of that delusion, because they think they think they're failing to live up to something, even though the thing they're looking at isn't real. That's romanticism. I'm not dismissing our problems. I'm, but I'm saying that our problems, there are ways of fixing our problems. There are ways of mitigating elements of our problems, at least reducing them, helping them out, making things just a bit better. But for the means to reduce them, for the means to mitigate those problems, for those to come into force, for that to come into play, there has to be a future and there has to be hope. We have to believe that it is worth putting those solutions into place. We have to believe that they're a nation worth saving. And part of that is occasionally reaffirming our traditions. Because traditions connect us to our past and connect us to our future. It is an event in the present, but it is connected, but it looks in two directions. I've probably made a crap argument. I'll get torn to pieces now. But yeah, that's my very strange, very bungled, very convoluted, and very ramshackle argument for monarchists, and just justifying my position. And it makes no sense, but neither does a lot of what's happened in my life. So yeah, there's a lot of So there we go. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, but there are many, many, many things that don't make sense, and maybe some of the things I've said, maybe there's a hope that some of the things I've said resonate. That some of my argument, reaffirmation of tradition, hope for the future, maybe some of that will sink in. Maybe that will have some value. Something somewhere has to have some value, because honestly, I'm running on empty these days. I've got nothing really to look forward to. So there has to be something. There has to be something. Yeah. Have a good day.